Hey, I think we're live. And I think for the first time, I actually remembered to turn the sound down on the iPad where I can see your comments before going live so I don't get an echo. I know it only took me where are we? 12, 13 lives. I mean, I'm a quick learner. Quick learner. Oh, Lori Marie. Lori Marie. Oh, it still went up. What? I had it turned down all the way. The audacity. Um, for the puppy, it is dog food. For me, I had spinach raviolis, which were quite loud. I'm fairly certain I got it all out of my teeth. No guarantees. Y'all will have to let me know. Because it wouldn't surprise me. Absolutely wouldn't surprise me. How is everybody today? I know Lori Marie is very excited, as you can tell by the chat so far. This is something new and different for me. Griff Kai, hello. This is definitely like a different kind of auditing that's going on. And some of it I'm like, yay, and some of it is like, whoa, okay, we're getting close to that line. But it's fascinating to see how an actual like groundswell of support, how that takes what is beginning to be, I think, an entire movement. Hi, Daytona. How are you doing? And don't even try to come at me with this Tillamook. I mean, I'll have you know, Daytona tagged me on Facebook and said, see, look, Oregon's got cheese. I had to call a friend out. I had to say, darling, but it was like what? Like it's slightly aged cheddar. It's been around for a hot minute. That's not like cheddar though. I mean, let's talk 2 years plus aged. Oh, would you looky there? Wisconsin took all to the top 3 slots on that one. Oh, had to call her out. I'm sorry. It's just you come at me with cheese, I will come back with cannon fire. I just, cheese war supreme. Let me tell you, the stinkiest cheeses go in the cannons first. Let me tell you. Absolutely. Blue cheese, stinky cheese, it's all going in the cannon first. But anyway, here in southern Arizona, it is cold and wet and rainy. This is the first time you've seen me with a sweater. My joints do not appreciate cold, wet, and rainy. It is not good. Valid. And we have so many awards. So many. James, you made it, my friend. Hello. But listen, this is where I grew up. I mean, I have been in Arizona now for over 25 years, and still it's like part of my heart remains in Wisconsin. What can I say? I was like, what is that? It took me a minute. It's okay. I'm okay, really. I am. Hi, James. Hi, James. This is still all your fault. I want you to know. Oh, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I have 1 or 2 things with Wisconsin and cows. Just 1 or 2, not many. I decorated my entire first kitchen in white and black with red border and spots. There is cheese made all over because I checked the world cheese competition something. It's like WCCC or something like that. And there were, I mean, even like Idaho had took the top 3 spots in like some waxed rind something. I don't know. They're all over. That was my first one, and the desert has soaked into me a little bit at least because now it looks a little more appropriate with my surroundings. but, yeah, because I don't have any cows at all. Oh my gosh, so many cows. I have so many cows. Partly because my family, when I graduated from college, I went down to DC to work because I was a politics major and I was off to save the world, young and idealistic, and my family didn't want me to forget my humble beginnings. And yeah, they that all over, all over. Ohio does it's got some black hole characteristics, doesn't it? It does. It does. Um, I am in Southern Arizona now. Grew up in very small town in Wisconsin. We were the biggest of the county. We were the county seat. We were hot stuff, man. We're still hot stuff. But fascinating history in the area, and but I was also diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 18. So that and Wisconsin winters are not a good mix. Met my husband, got married in Maryland because I was still trying to save the world, and then moved out to, Arizona when my body started absolutely Remember, I started this channel just so that we would have a place to land until Blue Bacon decided to stop adulting so much and get back to it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Miss Kim, you're from Ohio? Wow. Wow, Texas. All right. All right. Um, so what a lot of like the spaces that I choose to inhabit on YouTube tend to be like police procedure, what we call frauditors, which are people just trying to get clicks and views for treating police very badly, and where that crosses the legal line and where it doesn't. And that is that has been kind of my, what I enjoy watching, what I enjoy seeing. Um Now there's like another area that is really getting hot and heavy right now. Like a real groundswell of a very naturally, organically growing movement against the Church of Scientology. Now, 15, 20 years ago, nobody would say boo about Church of Scientology. Yet I definitely like people doing the dumb because apparently then I can feel better about myself. Absolutely. So like 15 years ago or so, nobody would do anything against him though. um, because they play dirty. And hey, Touche, nice to see you. Um, I am so not on the ground floor at all, but I am intrigued, I am invested, and who knows? It's one of those like it's a good thing to be it's a good thing to be behind, in my opinion. Miss Kim, darling, love it. If you put your channel name in there, we can get you on the list too. Um, so okay, I'm gonna sound like one of them, but just bear with me for a minute. Put a 1 in the chat if you know very little or nothing at all about Church of Scientology and what they have been up to. Um, or if you just know like, "Oh, isn't Tom Cruise a Scientologist?" That put a 2 in the chat if you are really up to speed about all of the Church of Scientology. Okay. So Scientology won't win in Texas, Miss Kim. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Feel free to give Miss Kim a subscribe and a follow and all that good stuff. Oh, see? Lori Marie is slightly into this as well. Hey, Liz, thank you for the bump. I appreciate it. Yeah, so if you're auditing, then you know what a skosh, as we like to, just a skosh, just a skosh. All right, major science fiction. Oh, ditto. Oh, yup. Uh-huh. All right, y'all. I even made notes. All right, here are some. I mean, barely scraping the surface. Some of the issues that Church of Scientology has been in the news for, shall we say, recently. If you believe what Harlan Ellison said, that L. Ron Hubbard, who is a failed science fiction writer, started Scientology for the money, it, it's not a far leap. It is not a far leap to say, yeah, probably. They had a tax exempt status. It was revoked in the 60s. They fought hard after L. Ron Hubbard died to get it reinstated, and it was in 1993. A traditional church is given tax exempt status because of the good that they claim to do in the community. Food banks, helping with the homeless, all of the stuff that we want religious organizations to get a break for. They're doing stuff that maybe, the government isn't as good at. They're doing things that if the government got involved, it could get really sticky and possibility of, lawsuits and stuff like that. So we want churches to get down in the mud like that, religious organizations, so that other people don't have to, Fluffer is, yes, it's not that kind of fluffer. Not that kind of fluffer. So they don't really do the outreach. At least they can't show the receipts that they have done the outreach. They may do one or two things, but it certainly doesn't seem to be even slightly on par as to other religious organizations. Church of Scientology has no deity that you pray to. There's no praying. There is essentially, you are your own architect. You do bad things because you do them and you need to change your ways. And I can imagine Reese Googling that one. So and there's like FBI infiltration. It is bananas. It is nuts. It is way too long for this. But why have we heard of it more lately? Because there have been more of the celebrities breaking free and saying, "Hey, this is what happened to me while I was in, and it's not good." Leah Remini is a big one. She started up with, hey, Lisa, started up with Mike Rinder, a TV show and a podcast, and there was an organization called the Aftermath Fund. I think the name of the show was Aftermath, Scientology Aftermath, something like that. That started peeling the layers back. Scientology has a process procedure. They got procedures for everything. They got papers for everything. Reminiscent of a 1940s organization that had a mustachioed leader, allegedly. There is a process and procedure called fair gaming, where if you're mean to us, we're going to be as much, if not worse, to you. So nobody wanted to say anything because you would get, accused of being the worst of the worst kind of people with kids and the whole 9 yards, if you're catching what I'm putting down. There were no limits to what they would do. Mike Rinder was the head of the organization that did that. So when he finally came out, he also came out with a lot of stuff that, you know, a lot of bad stuff is done in their name. One of the other people that came out was featured on the first season of The Aftermath, and that was Aaron Smith Levin. He started up a YouTube channel, and they call it AA Ron because he uses a clip from Key and Peele. The name of his channel is Growing Up in Scientology. Highly recommend. He is like he's the vanguard, basically. He puts out multiple videos daily. He's sick right now. He's still putting out videos. But what he did is encourage everybody coming out of Scientology, start up your own channel, get it out, just speak your own experience. It is healing in a way because other people are like, wow, yeah, same with me. Or for people who've never been in Scientology with like me, could say, that's insane. Why did they do that? That's not how you're supposed to do that. Why would they do that? And it is absolutely bananas what they have done. There's kind of different categories of people. There are people that choose to be in Scientology. There are the ones that are born into Scientology because their parents are already there, so they don't really know any other way. And then there are people like me that never ends. We have an auditing to do right here, right now. Yeah. If you can see. That's Coco, the chocolate lab. Sue Bear, this is for you. Come here, baby. Oh, hello. 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 Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Thank you. She's okay. Oh, my goodness. Yes, that's my, no, you're not going to eat my earbud. They're saying hi to you. Yes, they are. Do you want to say, you want to say hi? Now you're getting all, oh my goodness, you're getting all tangled. Hello. Hello. I know. What do you think? What do you think, huh? Oh, goodness. Hi. She is what, 10 weeks now? 10 and a half? That's my nose. Thank you. Okay. Oh, boy. I got her. She loves jumping. She is taking to leaping. She is not well coordinated yet. So her leaps can be. Well, Sue Bear, darling. I'm not even sure that was puppy breath. All I felt were teeth on my nose. It's fine. We're good. Hello. Oh my goodness. That's daughter. That's progeny. Thanks for calling me progeny. Serge is another one, man. Serge, I don't remember if he was, I think he's a born-in, that his parents were, no, you don't, Griff Guy. No. Exactly. Because of the kind of auditing that they're doing now, it is amazing to see the growth and the natural evolution. All right, so puppy audit. Now back to Scientology. Aaron Smith Levin encouraging anyone and everyone coming out of Scientology, start your own channel. Start it, start speaking your truth. We'll just, whatever your take of it is, will be your take. Because as a cult, there's a tight grip on information from the head down. Bite model. 4 components of control is behavior, information, thought, and emotion. And the information part, like Scientologists used to not be able to use the internet. Well, you carry the internet in your pocket now on your phone. So that one is, difficult to do, but they all, of course, tend to cluster in one spot because people that do not support and encourage Scientology, they're suppressive persons, SPs. So when Aaron Smith Levin started kind of this loose collaboration of all these different channels. He's calling it SPTV, and anybody is welcome to use that SPTV, suppressive persons TV, to just have there be some place where people can find information from the folks that get out. What are they talking about? Oh, good golly. I You couldn't write this stuff if you tried. It is more that like a Lifetime movie would say, this is too much. You have to cut half of this out. It is very, very bad. Imagine any crimes that you can do, and especially with children, because if you're born into the Scientology, the Sea Org is the best of the best. You can only hope to achieve the levels of wonderfulness of the Sea Org, and if you are chosen to sign up for that, you sign literally a billion-year contract. And because the thought is that I'm not really me, I'm a Thetan, which is some sort of a spirit that was hurled into a volcano by a space dude. And that Thetan just attaches itself to new bodies all the time. So past lives, that your child is not your child. It's a Thetan, so you really don't have to pay attention to it. Absolutely. That John Travolta movie it haunts me. But so if you can imagine that a 12-year-old signing a billion-year contract and getting shipped off to a Sea Org position around adults. Hey, Nightwolf, how you doing? 12, 13, 14-year-olds working beside 20-somethings, 30, 40-somethings. Guess what's going to happen? Take a wild guess. Yes, it does. In all of the utter horribleness that will happen when you think you're above the law, you are the most moral, you decide what's right and wrong, and really being a minor isn't a thing. The amount of child abuse that is being spoken about right now is absolutely horrifying. And Serge, who is he's a man on a mission. He wants there to be no more children in Scientology because of the abuses that they have. There are beatings. There are I don't know if it is anymore, but Mike Rinder claimed that he was put in essentially like a concentration camp for punishment because after L. Ron Hubbard died, little Davy of the fake Space Navy, David Miscavige, took over. And he is shorter than Tom Cruise, but he is besties with Tom Cruise. And anyone who disobeyed him, or he thought disobeyed him, or didn't go, didn't do what the best that they could or whatever, he would punish them by putting them in the hole. And they claim to not be doing that anymore. But like that's where these grown adults are like literally hopping into trunks of cars to escape from Scientology. And in Scientology, you can't trust the outside world. Look, we are trying to clear the planet, so they say, trying to clear the planet of all these bad past life experiences so that all the Thetans can be free and go back out into space or something like that. I don't even know. But they're saving the planet, people. Who does that sound like, Julie? But so their mission is first and foremost, and police don't know what they're doing. They're not even, they're going to treat you badly. they don't know how to deal with the ethics and morality of Scientology because they're so far above us. So we'll handle it all in-house. Tell us what happens, and we'll make sure the appropriate people are punished. Except that as you tell the people what happened, not only are they getting all of your deepest, darkest secrets and hurts, they're also telling you, you brought this in on yourself. You pulled this in to yourself. It's all your fault, which is a wonderful way of emotionally keeping you under their control. So, all this stuff is coming out, right? Danny Masterson was accused of slipping drugs into the drinks of women at this LA restaurant called La Poubelle, and as well as other places. Church of Scientology said, "Oh, we'll handle it. We'll handle it." They were big donors. They handled it in-house. The women were saying, "But wait, no, this is that you didn't do anything." And finally it came to court. I think the first time it was a hung jury, the second time, not hung at all. Absolutely guilty. He is now serving essentially the rest of his life in prison. I say all this, I know there's so much. For people that don't have a foot, I'm trying to boil this down to very little bits, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, um, so we're gonna backstep just a skosh. In LA, they have the big Church of Scientology building. It's right downtown. That's how they get the celebrities and, all the actors and stuff like that. And there was a man that was auditing the police was his focus. So he was taping he's recording everything with his phone. I think some on YouTube, but mostly I think isn't Streets LA mostly TikTok anyway. He happens to get heckled by some Scientologists. And they start fair gaming him and saying, "Well, you're just such a rotten dad because your son wouldn't have died in a um when in some shootout if you had been a better father." So now Streets LA becomes, what is his now? It's like Scientology audit now. He's changed his handle. He is still um eh, they're still his focus is now, you poke the bear, I'm on you now. I'm on you, Scientology. And because of his work with auditing the police, he knows where those lines are, and he goes up to the line of being legal, but doesn't cross it. And he is not one of those absolutely wretched people that are doing it just for clicks and views. He actually wants to improve his neighborhood. This is the feeling that I get. And Clearwater, Florida is the head of the training for the upper echelons. So there's absolutely Scientology there, big time. It's basically there in LA are the two major hubs. And they have other places around, but those are the two biggies, at least here in the States. So Streets LA starts training these, kids that were in Scientology, had the worst things in life happen to them, got out, and we're like, we have to do something to take down Scientology. We don't want any more kids to go through what we went through. Started protesting. They started, this groundswell of, we're going to make sure you don't get anybody else Scientology. And Streets LA was like, this is how you do it. This is, and he had enough experience with the police that he knew how to navigate those realms if you were arrested. Stuff is happening. And a bunch like me called Never Ends grabbed hold and said, this is a wrong. This is not something we should be able to do in the United States. This needs to be stopped. Aaron Smith Levin has made multiple trips out to LA for the Danny Masterson trials, for other things. He went out to LA and protested with the folks. They're basically like hanging out in front of the Scientology building, telling people this is a cult. If you go in and sign up for anything, there's a long history of stealing credit card numbers and making fake charges and all kinds of stuff. They are trying. They're making small inroads, but man, it is wrapped up. So what I wanted to do, there's a woman, a wonderful editor called Kelli Copter. And let me see, let me make sure I have, Kelli Copter, who basically put together, Aaron Smith Levin was arrested when he was there. And it was essentially, he was like following a man, said, "Hey, aren't you this guy?" And the guy turned around and beat him with his cane, sicked his dog on him, which seems to happen with awesome regularity. And then Aaron was the one arrested when he wanted to press charges. I just realized I'm like way off to the side. Anyway, so let's take a look at this. I get to add it. I'm so good at tech. I'm not good at tech. And then
literally.
She tags at the bottom.
Michael, literally Michael.
Literally Michael. Okay. So just Friday night, the January 19th, just one day. Again, this is Kelli Copter that put it all together. They will have helicopters buzzing them. All that they're getting swatted because Scientologists, they call in fake bomb threats. They do, this person threatened us with a knife. No, not at all. So it's the afternoon.
They're literally cashing their check real quick to launder more images of adults that are implicated in this case. Was there the news there?
So he appears to do something on his phone before turning around to walk by the protesters.
Yeah.
They will try to bait a reaction, just like
in the
frauditors.
harassment campaign that they're getting sued for. Yeah. But again, you guys, like, I worked at this.
So Kelly slowed it down so you can see he's doing something on his phone.
Top dogs of Scientology is called RTC. You guys, y'all can Google it. Check it out, religioustechnologycenter.com, and then just look at their website. Because in their website, you guys, you will see that there's a place where you can file reports, and it even says if any crime has been committed or something like that.
All right, here he comes.
Along those lines, fill in what was done. So,
and I will say, this man in the blue plaid jacket, he is there very often, just hanging out in front of Church of Scientology. But if anybody starts anything, the dog suddenly goes wacko. The dog has bitten many people, yet the dog still is there. He's got the cane in his arm, in his hand that you can see. Allegedly, he has a blackjack as well that he is used to hit people with. Kelli Copter did an amazing compilation because everyone's just like sitting out front telling folks, don't go in, this is a cult, and trying to convince the Scientologists you can leave it. They tell you because if they've been in since, Aaron never finished high school. Most of the born-ins have not finished high school because, of course, education is a great way to control the masses, right? So, they're afraid I can't work anywhere but here. No one will be accepting of me. So a lot of the protests are also like, we will help you. You absolutely can leave. We will help you find a home, find a job, get educated, all of that, find housing. We will help you with that. Just leave Scientology. But this guy in the blue plaid jacket, I think his name is Perry. Oh, he just likes hanging out there regularly. Very regularly.
In what world fill in what was done? So, in what world is that looking out for a trademark?
So Aaron is just down the street. He lived in LA for a while. He was an extra in a bunch of movies.
I used to live out here, guys, even before I was in the Sea Org. Spent a couple years living out here. Didn't really have anything to do with Scientology from 1998 to 2000. There's an apartment building back there called the Madison Apartments, and I lived there. And I had a lot of fun.
Oh, there he is. Aaron recognizes him from all the live streams that he's mirrored.
Dude. All right, man. That's the guy who used his dog as a weapon against the Squirrel Squad. Are you the guy who used your dog as a weapon against the Squirrel Squad?
The Squirrel Squad is a term. Apparently, squirrels, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Miss Kim and Lori, squirrels are what Scientology calls distractions, people that are trying to be a distraction from clearing the planet. We got to clear the planet. So anyone who is attempting to distract you from this, they're a squirrel. Now, they have grabbed hold of that name with honor, said, yes, we are the Squirrel Squad. So that's what Aaron is referencing.
Huh?
Don't point that at me, number one. I don't know you. I don't give a fuck about your agenda. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm a private citizen. Leave me the fuck alone for your own safety.
Well, I'm on a public sidewalk right here.
I'm not for you to be fucking harassing, asshole. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm a combat veteran. PTSD, fucker. Leave me the fuck alone.
Oh, guys.
I will fucking kill you.
What I just saw, and please put in your own observations, was Aaron was walking side to side, and Mr. Perry in the blue jacket approached him, got in his face, and struck him first. To me, that sounds like Aaron is the victim of the assault, and Perry is the perpetrator. Now we have like 17 different angles because everybody was filming.
I got it.
Yeah, he doesn't solve it. The fuck I did? You fucking came up at me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh no. What's going on?
This is Confident Chris, is another live streamer, and he's like, what just happened? There are normally now police out front because of what all goes on. There's Aaron. The gimbal has been broken that he was streaming from because the guy hit it with a cane. Yeah. That's what I saw.
Cool.
Go Pack Go. That's beside the point.
We got that on camera. That's the same
I
guy
don't
who
know why.
assaulted the fucking Squirrel Squad.
So there.
Wow, he actually hit me in the head, you guys. I'm filing the fucking police charges on that. He hit me right in the head, dude. The guy who had the dog. The same guy who attacked the Squirrel Squad last week.
He's trying to get that baton extended. He finally gets it extended.
See?
He
Oh,
is
that extending
threatening
baton
that
is
dude.
definitely illegal.
That dude is standing in the street with traffic driving by. The dog is threatening to bite him. The dude's standing aggressively with the baton. Even the Scientology security guard is actually going to get involved here and be like, because guess what, guys?
Bingo.
The Scientology security guard knows that dude.
It's been confirmed. 5 minutes.
You're a fucking disgrace.
You're a disgrace.
So this is Scientology Audit Streets
What's your
LA.
problem?
He's
so
had
you're a
many
Scientologist?
interactions with this man.
Yes, absolutely. It's a scam. You let it go on. You're proud of, you let a scam go on in our neighborhood and you're proud of that? You are proud of letting a scam go on? I think that's a coward move.
Who's approaching? Streets LA is barely moving forward. Mr. Perry in the blue jacket coming right up. And of course, this is LA, so people are coming forward to
You
film.
allow them to scam people on the boulevard? You allow them to scam people? You allow them to scam people? You're the coward. That's you.
Bitch,
That's how you
motherfucker.
walk forward again. I'm telling you.
I'll walk anytime I fucking want. Boy, you gonna stop me, motherfucker?
Keep the dog
You
away.
gonna stop me,
I'm
motherfucker?
gonna punch you.
Come on, go for it. Go for it, bitch.
You're lost.
You're the one that's gonna grab.
Let's see.
This is the end of
Use your
December,
dog as a weapon.
You're on our space.
and the
Use
dog
a dog as a
is
weapon. Use a dog as a weapon. We're gonna see how this works.
the dog is trying to protect its owner, but the owner
Shut your mouth. You're the one making
is
noise.
not acting
You're
right.
the dog making noise. Shut your mouth. Shut your. Again, I'm gonna tell you. Using if you allow scammers in there, you dumb motherfucker.
And can I say, for Coco's going to be trained to be a service dog, you can get vests anywhere. You can get them on Etsy for a couple bucks, and there is no national registration. Because of the Americans with Disabilities Act, you're allowed to ask 2 questions. Is this dog task trained specifically for tasks, not because he makes me feel better? And what are the tasks? That's it. And I have seen him hand off the dog to other people. I have seen him do all kinds of things that does not belie a service dog, in my humble opinion, but that's me. And you're right, Touche. Or Lisa, excuse me, Lisa. He should not have a dog.
You need a dog. You don't have a
He's
dog
using the
around
dog
your
as a
house, the guy
weapon.
be laying right there. Yeah, you will not. You can't walk.
Go back inside.
A fucking chicken shit little pussy.
Yeah. Hey.
He tore the jacket.
You guys come
That
on.
bite tore that man's jacket. And service dogs do not have to be vested to go out. The dog can just have a leash or a harness on it and still be a trained dog.
Look at that.
Chat, please do not order any.
Thank
I'd
God he had a
forgotten that he
jacket.
was
I know. I had
yeah.
2 jackets on. Thank God.
Leather jacket.
Everybody's like, "What's
torn.
what happened to the Is that the rip right there?"
Yeah, that's the rip.
Shit. Went right through the rip.
This was real leather.
Ruined.
Through a leather
The
jacket.
infamous dog attack man, still not in jail.
Davey mismanaged.
Hey,
Davey
he
mismanaged.
literally fucking hit me in the head.
The names
Got a
people
straight
come up
head.
with are amazing.
Who hit him in the head? The guy with the fucking dog. The guy who attacked you guys last week with the dog. Which one?
Look at that red.
That is the
that
same
redness.
guy.
What's the bald head dude?
Yeah, no, the ball head dude with the dog.
Oh, he did it with what?
The guy with the dog from 2 weeks ago who fucking attacked.
And they're not.
We need to call the police for real. Someone.
6724 Hollywood in front of the
Hopefully.
Scientology building. Suspects an employee, male black, 30s to 40s, dark clothing.
Suspect's an
Victim's
employee?
a protester hit by a cane. It's code 2
Oh,
extension
the employee was the one that called in.
All right, we're getting him to the cops, you guys, so we can get the right
So as a group,
facts on
They-
the
the
matter.
police, so that they can file an
So
appropriate report.
outrageous.
Stream in front of he punched me in the head on a live stream. And he sicked his dog on me. Yes.
You are correct.
I'm live. Okay, so I'm walking. I see him. Now look, I'm behind him. He's walking away from me. Okay, I'm not even talking to him.
Might be a
I'm
good
talking
thing.
to my live stream. I said, that's the guy who used his dog to assault the protesters last week. Watch what happens. I'm nowhere near him.
So he's
Someone said the
talking to
sergeant
the
showed
police
up.
about this. And the officers
Yeah,
on
you
the
know, the
scene
sergeant
are like,
doesn't really
huh,
like all of us. I mean,
huh.
guys, if you want to talk about one of the reasons that I love First Amendment auditor videos, people who use live streaming to hold police accountable, we've shown these cops crystal clear video of assault with thousands of witnesses. And we've got like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 cops standing around for an hour.
Yeah.
And honestly, they wouldn't even be bothering to do this if they didn't
Oh,
know
look.
that thousands of people are watching this right now, they wouldn't even be bothering.
And as more people are live streaming, more eyes are on it.
And the only reason I'm pursuing this so heavily is because this is the guy Scientology uses to harass the protesters, and we're going to put a stop to it.
2 hours. And no. He's pulling out his own pocket. He's emptying out his own pockets. Now, if Mav were here, I'd be willing to bet that Mav would say, we don't allow people to empty their own pockets. That's not telling us that they're empty for sure. That's not a thing. And if you see the bald cop with the sunglasses up, he's been connected in all kinds of ways to Scientology that it's gross, like performing for their Christmas and, as a singer, because of course in LA, everyone's a singer, actor, dancer, whatever. But he's allowed to empty out his own pocket. And he was carrying knives. 5 knives. 5 knives.
This
Which
Joker
is
had 5
what I have
knives
on
on
me
him.
at all times. Not. Scientology LA has called repeatedly for bomb threats and terrorist threats and all this kind of stuff.
Why are you cockroaches still sitting here?
And
get them out of handcuffs and get the fuck out of here.
It's the protesters that are in cuffs.
1121. 1123, actually.
You need all these cops are one person.
Accuse me of having a gun in the streets. Well, where is that gun in the streets?
What's your reasonable suspicion to have him in cuffs? Maybe you've already searched him. He doesn't have a weapon. Why is he in cuffs?
So this is, in my humble opinion, this is auditing done in the proper way of showing what appears to be bad behavior by the LAPD, especially when it comes to Scientology, that is, knowing what your rights are, knowing where those lines are, and also knowing that the court's not going to take place on the sidewalk, but knowing what your rights are. Oh, golly, that would be amazing, Miss Kim. That would actually be amazing. So these are other protesters that are also live streaming that have it all, that like they'll say the kid with the big afro has a bomb on him and he threatened to blow us up. I'm not monetized, so I don't need to worry about saying those things. Ha ha. So then they put him in cuffs for a couple hours and they search them all up the heck. And there's obviously nothing on him. And Streets LA is there to quote chapter and verse to them correctly about why he needs to then be let go. And the detainment must stop.
You don't need to run his name to know that he has not committed the crime. They called it as a crime and said he had a gun. There's no gun. Get him out of cuffs. You don't need to run his name.
Why isn't the Church of Scientology being held accountable for these false calls? This now makes 12 phone calls to 911 by the Church of Scientology making fake claims. At some point, they need to be held accountable.
We're documenting the LAPD's response so we can establish a pattern.
Feels like something's about to happen here. I don't know.
Aaron is like, they're not
The main
coming
thing
for me,
to
though.
is we're not scared.
I'm the
because
victim.
You have the facts on your side, and we're here peacefully protesting. We are live streaming. Everything we say, it's recorded. Everything we do is recorded. So, Osa, chill. chill.
OSA is the
We're
organization
showing
within
exactly what we're doing. If
Scientology
you're pressed about something that we're doing,
that pulls all the
you
stunts.
literally have it on here. And since you have such a great relationship with the LAPD, just send them our video where we violated any law.
And at this point, Aaron is still like, yeah, I want to do what's the PPA stand for? Something personal arrest. And he's like, yeah,
No, guys,
I
I'm
want to do
not
that.
being arrested. The guy who assaulted me outside the test center is getting arrested.
That's what he thought.
You know, there's a pattern here that
Felony
we've
stalking.
seen already.
What?
6
Aaron?
SUVs, all of these cops, and nobody has touched it.
We're waiting for the guy with the dog to get arrested. He assaulted a bunch of the protesters outside the Scientology Center with the dog.
Okay, hold up. Oh, thank you. Personal person arrest. Thank you, Lori. Hold up, Miss Kim. Hold up. Hold up. They swatted you. You're not the only one. You have joined a club because I know you're not the only one, but oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing, Miss Kim. But dang. I mean, that people will be just like sitting in their cars and all of a sudden helicopters with searchlights and the police with this. And it's all like, what? I mean, would you believe that this is happening in America, James? Because it's like, what? They're trying to make the cost of doing these live streams too high for people like a lone grandma, too high so that they won't do it. This is fair gaming. This is absolutely fair gaming to the T. And what it seems to be is that once again, they can't get out of their own way. OSA is the name of the organization within, like the office within Scientology that handles these kinds of issues. OSA can't get out of its own way because if people are, especially in America, legitimately exercising their First Amendment. Thank you, Office of Special Affairs. Thank you, Lori. If people are legitimately exercising their free right of speech, and I'm talking legitimately, offering help, warning people off, and I don't know if you could hear some of the banter in the background of some of these videos. They're not calling people, fighting words. They're not, calling them names. They're not doing that. And now their free speech is being impinged by all these phone calls from Scientology. So Aaron is sure at this point, I'm not the one who's going to get arrested. Come on, guys. The dude with the dog is going to get arrested.
Well, a couple weeks ago with the dog, but
There's
today,
in the
with his
center
gang. Yeah, he's getting arrested.
is
That's why
the police
Yep.
officer, bald one with the sunglasses. Look, he knows everybody. Oh, he's going to go up and do fist bumps. He's got, hey, how you doing? Good to see ya. He's not the highest ranking person on the scene, but
Did I
police
include in the
officer
report
Timothy Plowman.
his threatening to kill me and the others? I should put that in the report.
Let's keep an eye on Aaron, you guys.
He takes over the scene.
If you would like the fellow arrested for the battery,
Yes.
We have no problem facilitating a private person's arrest.
Yes.
With you being that private person.
Yes.
At which point you will be required to go to court to make certain that you follow through with
Sure.
those elements of the arrest.
You got it.
At the same time, listening to his clarification of his side of the fact. I always say there's three sides of every story. What you say, what he said, and it's something in between.
Well, so as you remarked as I came out of the building, you asked if I was the one who they just had the incident over.
DOA. Isn't that the guy that dresses up in the squirrel suit? Something of ants. A diviner of ants or something like that. The names these people come up with are hysterical for their channels. But because he's not an absolute jerk, apparently Patrick is willing to talk to him.
We're in front of the Scientology building. And yes, that was me. I was walking
Defender
in front
Vance.
of the Scientology building, walking my dog, and taking her out to do our normal walk, not having any agenda, no anything, just walking on the public
Sure.
sidewalk.
Uh-huh.
And where a gentleman came running up behind me, shouting that I was the one who was abusing his dog and using my dog violently against protesters. I've done no such a thing. And yet this person continued to charge into my face with his camera out. And I'm telling him, sir, I don't know.
Charge into my face. Did we see that? Did we? I don't remember that. Oh, Defender Vance. He has been targeted big time for fair game now. Because he recorded this? Okay.
No, I haven't done anything to you. Leave me alone. You have me confused with someone else, or I have nothing to do with whatever it is your issue is. And he continued to aggressively approach me.
And this was in addition to what had happened the other day, correct?
Correct. This is on the tail end of where I was surrounded and basically surrounded and my way of egress cut off by a group of angry protesters who were pissed off because I said that it was disgusting at the manner of which they were, in the manner in which they were behaving, going aggressively or being the aggressor towards the group that they were protesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a whole lot of fumbling around because I would have been able to speak that if it were truthful in a whole lot less fumfering around, shall we say. Also, I saw an aisle of egress plain and open for him. He was not being surrounded by angry protesters. Streets LA was calling him out, but that's not being surrounded by angry protesters. Amazing how that happened, huh?
And are you a Scientology supporter?
I'm not at all. Here's the crazy thing is I'm being labeled as a supporter of Scientology and all of this thing. No, I'm not a supporter of Scientology. What I am is a veteran who supports the Constitution and the rights of people to express themselves. But what I don't respect or support is people going aggressively, overtly hostile and being the aggressor. That I don't support.
And so if people are saying you sucker punched him just
right
now,
and that was no such a thing. I was defending myself. This man came running at me in an aggressive posture, coming from behind me. I repeatedly had told him to leave me alone on previous occasions.
You were charging
He comes
him,
running
sir.
aggressively. I don't know what
Sir.
his intentions were. My reaction was simply a reaction based on the perceived threat.
Sir.
okay, so
You charged
just so you
him.
know, and he's saying that.
And Nightwolf. Fascinating question. Normally, yes, absolutely. However, Aaron wasn't arrested and charged with anything. Is he following through on the PPA? He may be taking other legal paths because of how corrupt the LAPD is apparently, allegedly, reacting toward him and the other protesters. Because if you file a complaint, Streets LA has educated a whole bunch of people on this. They love to hold out into considered an internal investigation until the last minute. And then they say, oh, we found no fault. And then the time to do anything about that issue is now gone. Apparently this happens over and over again, especially with Scientology protesters. So even in America, my friend, this should, oh my gosh, too much clicking. Even in America, it should not happen this way. So even Americans are going, wait, what? What do you mean? That's not right. So yeah, it is very confusing. It is mind-blowing to people who, the 95% of the rest of the world, especially like in America, doing it right with the police is a thing that we're proud of, a thing that we encourage and back. And we're looking at this going, what the heck is going on? A swear word might leave my mouth tonight. I know. It's one of those nights. Fact. And they've lost their tax exempt status in Australia, and they're getting ready to get booted. There's a lot. Lori Marie, Chicago is next on the list. So this is what is happening. Like, basically, he's saying, look, you can do a PPA. He's going to do one right back. And listen to Aaron's reaction.
That he repeatedly, you were following him around. He repeatedly told you to leave. Let me finish before you interject.
I'm not going to interject.
What's up, guys? Good. How are you? Good to see you. He repeatedly told you to stop following him around. He was not a member of the Church of Scientology, and you continue to accost him with. You continue to try to accost him with the camera and got up in his face. And so, just so you know, those.
Go ahead, I'm listening, sir.
We ran that by our detectives, and those are actually elements of stalking.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
This is the one time that Aaron saw him. That Aaron interacted with him. That's adorable.
That we are giving him, and he's disseminating all of our information.
Well, is the detective here?
The detective's at the station.
Did you send him the video?
The video, from what I saw.
There's 3 videos.
I know.
Did you send it to him?
Our sergeant has conversed with the detective after watching the video, and both sides are pretty clear. It looks like he swung that at you, and it also looks like he was also trying to defend himself and push you and some of the other people.
Literally a lot more questions.
Okay, go ahead. What's next?
So far.
Well, what's next is that we're going to try to facilitate a peaceful resolution of this situation.
What does that mean?
If that's possible.
No, I want him arrested.
All right. So then, just so you know, more than likely you're going to be arrested on the felony stalking. All right.
Felony stalking?
Yeah.
You want to arrest me for felony stalking? On the live stream? That's okay with me. Yeah.
Let me call that bluff.
10,000 people watching.
Let me call that bluff.
He said that if I ask for him to be arrested, they're going to arrest me for felony stalking. So go ahead, officer, do your job. You want to throw me in cuffs tonight? We can do it.
California defines felony stalking as willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly following or willfully and maliciously harassing another person, and one who makes a credible threat with the intent to place that person, the victim, in reasonable fear for his or her safety or the safety of his or her immediate family. Again, citation of that, California Penal Code, Section 646.
Your Lori friend Zach, I don't think he was he ever in Scientology? I think he's a never in. But dang, he is helping ex-Scientologists figure out the legality of this stuff. Because I think he's in, I want to say Oklahoma, but he knows how to do the research legally into the different statutes and stuff. So there's he has to meet this and this and this. And I don't see it.
Alpha. Every crime consists of multiple elements, and all of those elements must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt by the government in order for a person to be convicted of that crime. Okay. So if we read this definition: willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly, all 3 of those things must be met: willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly. So each one of those words is going to have its own unique legal definition. Willfully generally means not just knowingly, but knowingly with the intent of securing a desired outcome. I didn't just knowingly do it, but I did it knowingly, plus I wanted the outcome to occur that occurred. Okay.
So not a whoopsie doodle. And not a one-time, hey, aren't you that guy? In my very not a lawyer reading of what Zach just said. And Miss Kim, I will, if I can figure out how to tag it in the description, I will put it in there. That's a big if, because ask Griff Kai, my mod, I do not tech well. I am old, I am decrepit, but I will try. Because this video, it's it's like one of those, like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm sure there's another side to this, because you always have, the two sides and then the truth somewhere in the middle. This side, however, is pretty thick and juicy. And if there is another side, aspects of it, plain devil's advocate here, it is a very thin side compared to what I can see with my own eyes. Dang. Thank you, Griff Kai, but dang.
Maliciously, right? That's the malicious
Malicious.
intent.
He said,
sort of
hey, aren't you that
component
guy?
to it. I did it with
On a public sidewalk.
ill will in my heart, with ill will in my mind. I did it with the intent of it being to the harm of another person, physical harm, emotional harm, etc. Okay. And repeatedly is going, by any definition, is going to mean at least more than one time. Right? Not just one time, more than one time. And generally, you would have to establish a certain pattern or habit of behavior to satisfy the repeatedly.
We don't give a
Always.
shred of an F. Y'all got all the evidence, so do what y'all need to
As
do.
if the LAPD reputation couldn't get any worse.
Aaron is still a little in shock at this point, I'm willing to bet.
Shout out to you, LAPD.
Still circling with the helicopters.
What up, what up, what up?
Now you're going to see Night Touche. You are going to see police come out in force.
5 knives, you guys. And the LAPD is ha ha ha, he he he.
Absolutely. Let me get this arrest though.
And not patting him down. They are not patting him down. Look at all the police now.
Search.
Look at them all.
They're coming to get me. I can tell. I'm looking at their eyes. They're coming to get me.
He's not
They're
wrong.
coming to get me.
Now he's handed the
Look,
dog
they're
off
eyeballing
to
me
a
right there.
buddy, which I have seen
He's
on
coming to
other
arrest
lives
me.
as well.
Are you certain of that? Well, we'll be certain in a moment. Here we go. You ready? That's why
That
they
is
closed
high
down.
praise, Miss Kim.
Get ready. I'll hold that one. Here, take this.
You've got the big job. You still don't check well. Look at them all. They're ready for a mob fight. This is what they're doing. Look at that. Batons out. They are ready for a fight because Aaron is thought to be their leader, but guess what? This is a real confederation. There is no one leader here. Actually, that's not. I mean, Robert E. Lee was the leader, but there is no leader of the movement. Everybody is there doing their own thing. So there is no mob attack. They are searching him. They are putting him in cuffs. And because they're afraid that the mob is going to attack, which words may be said because emotions can run high, to my knowledge, no one raised a finger against the LAPD here. They got scared, though, and shoved him into a cop car. They cuffed him and shoved him into the cop car before the search was even complete. Zach said that constitutes an arrest. Oh, and they started reading him the Miranda rights, too. They started reading him his Miranda rights. That got cut short when he got stuffed into the car. It is still constitutes an arrest, according to lawyers that are much smarter than me.
No, I've seen the videos.
Okay, I might have been talking over that. Let me do this. I think I can do this. Okay. He was detained and chained to a bench. He was not interviewed. He spent 4 hours in LAPD's custody. He also said on one of his live streams that when the hallway started to get busy, one guy said, "Let's stick him in the bathroom. Let's lock him up in there." A different LAPD, I don't know if it's detective or whatever. Aaron had the details better than I do. He said, "You can't put somebody in there. That's inhumane." And Aaron also said that his training from Scientology about how to put up with abuse, He kept his back stiff, he kept his face blank, and he took it. Whatever abuse they gave, he took it and did not complain because he wouldn't give him the benefit. He wouldn't even give him that. And he was detained, but they claimed he was never arrested. For 4 hours chained to a bench. Not even interviewed. Why do you have him there? Why do you have him? Not charged, not even interviewed. 34-year LAPD vet. Getting checks from Scientology. Those are all the channels. Kelli Copter, highly recommend. She is amazing. And I mean, and those are all her supporters. Oh, hello. See, I don't tech well. All right. So that is where like people were definitely up in arms with that, saying what why this can't be happening in America. What's going on? Then Chicago, they started they wanted to open up a new building in Chicago right next to a dorm for the University of Chicago, the University of Chicago. They put up a whole bunch of cameras that are so good on the exterior of the buildings that they can see what's on your screen if you don't have a screen blocker on there. And Scientology, Clearwater is absolutely this bad. Absolutely. But Chicago's just waking up to this. For the day of the opening, they didn't want any protesters because at other openings, like there was one in Texas, I want to say Austin, but I could be off, where there's a woman who is either my age, perhaps even a little bit older, who has decided Scientology is her target. She's a never in. She's like, not in my backyard, you're not. And she yells and screams from the sidewalk where it's allowed during the opening to try to disrupt it. I think she went up into a public parking garage and yelled without a megaphone. Megaphone was too much. So she used her own vocal cords. She's got some good pipes. And she does the same thing of trying to warn people off. This is a cult. They will take your information. They will use it against you. They will steal your credit card. You will never get off their mailing list. All of that kind of stuff. Pearl Snappy. Absolutely. I need to take lessons from her on how to be smarter with my digital footprint because she knows. So I'm going to take lessons from her. And having a throwaway phone, because DOA, the guy that got the interview with guy in the blue plaid jacket, he was arrested later, and his phone and other broadcasting equipment, the gimbal and stuff like that, his car was impounded, and he lives out of his car going from protest spot to protest spot, and a pair of black socks were taken, and he got his car back. The phone, I think he still has to, they're saying he has to file with this and that and the t'other and all these other things. No, if he hasn't been charged, he stayed in jail for 5 days, was not charged. You get your stuff back. Cops are not allowed just to have fun with your phone if you're not charged with anything. No. This is... Oh, they have his laptop too. And his socks. The black socks. There's a joke going around that bald cop with the sunglasses, he is now wearing a new pair of black socks. Ew, ew, ew. But yeah. I don't know if you caught in one of the very opening scenes from Kelli Copter's compilation were these silver tubes next to a machine. If you go into Scientology, those are called the cans, and they're supposed to measure, changes in your heat, in the temperature of your hands, if you're sweating or not, like a what do you call the machines that you get? The truth detector. What? That's not right. Lie detector. Truth detector. Lie detector machines. Like that, but something you hold in your hand. They are garbage. And they're put together by child labor within the organization. And the kids get paid, the kids and the adults get paid far below minimum wage. So they're kind of trapped because they have no savings. So they can't strike out on their own. And that's part of the whole, that's part of the whole, part of the bite model, why they stay in. So where was I? I completely got off track on that one. Thank you. That was good. You completely got, back to Chicago. Turn that wheel back to Chicago. So they're opening up this new sign. They're, after all of the stuff that Pearl Snappy did, they're like, we're not going to let that happen in Chicago. We will not take that embarrassment. But again, they can't get out of their own way because they don't realize it's not the 1950s and you can't push us around like that anymore. So they got a permit. Scientology got a permit to cordon off some of the access, some of the sidewalks. But they also blocked off access to the university dorms. And they blocked off access so that students had to walk like way the heck around to get into a different door, including a student with MS who practically had to be carried and she was crying because she was in so much pain. There was an adult man that I'm going to show you this, an adult man who is autistic, who what he does every day is he goes to get his donut. They could not allow that. So these are not police. Because they poked that beehive and the Hornets are really mad and the Hornets do social media really well. So good job, Scientology. You did it again. So I'll show you some shorts from Chicago Scientology audit. Rolls off my tongue. It does not, but that's me. Chicago Scientology audit. Who was witness to this old guy, his beard, beard is down to there. He's on the spectrum. He just wants his donut, his daily donut. And it starts with security paid by Scientology is what they are assuming. I haven't seen the receipts for it. This is their usual way of doing things, so I won't be surprised. This is how they deal with that. Okay. Ooh, I might be able to do it. I maybe just. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to click on this one.
Stop it! Take your hands off of him right now! This is Scientology at their finest. You can stop this. You're the boss. You can stop it. Are you going to stop it or not? Are you stopping this? He's the boss. He's the boss. He's the boss. He could make them stop right now.
Hey, stop.
Have them stop it. Stop it! Take your hands off of him! You guys...
It continues on for way too long. It really does. And so we have older folks, we have younger students, we have folks from the disabled community. We got it all. And this is what's happening in America, visited upon us by Scientology. And we're not the only ones, because the same thing is happening in England. The same thing is happening every place that has allowed Scientology in. Similar things happen if you dare try to do anything with, their grand openings, their big, let us show people just how wonderful we are. There's a man, apostate Alex in England. They were having a big, there's a regular celebration for L. Ron Hubbard's birthday, I believe, that they do in England. And if you donate enough money, you're invited to go. And apostate Alex, he was going to do his best to legally, within the rules, protest and, just show people there's another way. Call your family. They do something that I've never heard of any other church to do, which is to cut yourself off from your family. What's the term? Lori Marie, you or Miss Kim can show me, I'm sure pop it up instantly. When you have to cut off your family members. What church does that? The church that I belong to loves the idea of reconciliation. And not that the Church of Scientology, if you can call it a church, disconnect. Thank you, Lori Marie. They say you have to disconnect from any suppressive person, from any person that does not, encourage your giving and your time and your everything to the Church of Scientology. What church does that? What church encourages parents to disconnect from children when they are still children? What? Are you kidding me? Who does that? Church of Scientology does. Allegedly, according to the victims. I would love to hear their side of that story. I would love to. Show the receipts. I would love to. I bet Scientology has them because they keep records like that. Oh my gosh. True story. As far as, from what Aaron said, was that when he and his wife finally said, that's it, we've stayed in because of other family that are connected to Scientology, but we can't do it anymore. We have to disconnect. The neighbor, who is part of Scientology, came up and said, I heard what's going on. I know I have to disconnect, but I'm afraid your dog won't understand, because she really liked the dog. So she could care less that she had become a second grandma to Aaron's kids. It was the dog she was worried about. That is the type of mentality that Scientology will encourage and foster. And that blows my mind. So that the groundswell of people saying, this can't happen in my backyard. And now we all have cameras in our pockets. And if we do it properly, staying on a public sidewalk, not using megaphones to disrupt, just using our own voices, not using fighting words, all that kind of wonderful stuff that we see the frauditors trying to break, we don't have to. We can do this the right way. And let me tell you, stuff is coming up all over the place. There is supposed to be, I think, a mission is what's called a small, I don't know, like all the different levels that they have for like the big ones and the little ones. I think mine is called Raven. I hear you. I think the mission is what is a small office. It's small. I think I have a mission around me somewhere. I might just see what's happening. Because if I'm filming from a sidewalk, everything that my eye sees, right? That's, So, Ms. Kim, a Christian nationalist is someone who claims that as a Christian, I have the right to have my faith as law. So if I am a fundamentalist Christian who thinks that life begins at conception, then no woman in America can have an abortion, and that's because that's my religious understanding. Therefore, I'm making that into a law. That's what Christian nationalism is. As a Christian and as an evangelical, I am here to say my beliefs are that we are not to make the government the same as religion. Even Jesus said that. Pay unto Rome what is due Rome. And he came into Bethlehem on a donkey, not a big stallion to take over the government. He even said, that is not why I'm here. He could have. The people were backing him. And he said, nope, I'm here on a lowly donkey for a reason. And IVF is a big mess now in Alabama because of that. Absolutely. Separation of church and state. Absolutely. And when people don't get their way, they look for other ways to get it, which may or may not be right. So I know this is like, how long have we been going? Oh my gosh, hour and a half. Yeah, see, right back at you, babe. Absolutely. There you go. There you go. See, Miss Kim, you and I, we're right there. We're there. So this is a part of YouTube that you may or may not be aware of. It is growing. There are more and more people around the world coming out of Scientology. Now, it has its issues, trust me, because every movement is going to have its issues. And there are issues with folks coming out of OSA, that Office of Special Affairs, whatever it was, Lori, that you said, that are also heading up something called the Aftermath Foundation, which has a lot of money to help ex-Scientologists start up a new life. It's kind of like having to go in front of the person that wronged you and say, please, sir, will you help me form a new life and feel comfortable about that? So there are changes going on, hopefully for the better. That's a whole nother can of worms. But for the most part, the people that I have seen, the ground roots trying to get this movement going are for the most part doing it right, doing it for the right reasons, and auditing in a good way. And yeah, I mean, Aaron is definitely starting his own foundation that will have people in it on the board. He's talked about having trauma specialists on the board to help with identifying areas that need help and what could be appropriate treatments for the trauma, and not having married couples on it that vacation together, because then it just seems like one big friend group that if you're not part of the cool kids, you feel pretty weird trying to sit down at the table with them. So yeah, this like I said, that's like every place has drama. That's the drama involved in this. But for the most part, what I have seen is an incredibly close-knit group of folks coming out of a very damaging situation. Damaging on so many levels. If you want to go in the deep end, look up Miriam in SPTV. It was awful what was done to her. Or if you want to steer clear of that one for now, to, dip your toe in the shallow end, no problem there. But this is definitely, if you start to see groups of people outside of Scientology buildings, you may know why now. And it is amazing to see what good auditing can accomplish. There's always going to be people that are going to try to step over the line. The cursing is, the you will have to know what your priorities are. Do you want to stop people from going in or try to get people out? Because you may not be able to do both. Starting, in my humble opinion, stopping people from going in is a great place to start. The number of Scientologists, they can't really tell exactly how many there are. Aaron has estimates. It's not like it's a box that you check. So he's thinking it's under 30,000 worldwide, I think. But if we cut off the pipeline to stop new people going in, it will die a death. It will die a fairly quick death. We can only hope. But anyway, next week, if I can figure out how, we may try to solve some more murder mysteries. But let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys, because this is definitely something different than my normal thing. But it was suggested in Blue's Discord, and because there's just auditing in a good way is what I can term it as. And there are so many people that some of them are going to rub you the wrong way. Absolutely. Because there's so many people coming out that they're a huge mix of personalities. But so James, if I can figure out how to scan the pictures ahead of time and load them up, that might be a little easier. You think? But I mean, my setup, Miss Kim, it's a Nano Yeti mic. I'm on a Mac. I got a ring light from Amazon because I'm normally pale. There might just be just a little bit of whiskey in here, just because that's the only reason I have color in my cheeks, because normally I am pale as just a sheet of paper. Ask anyone in the chat. And the boom, I mean, literally, I got it all off of Amazon. Amazon. Seriously, Miss Kim, Blue Bacon is the one that basically everybody here is we all enjoy him and his streaming a lot. He got an adulting kind of a job where he can't do it weekly, so I'm trying to fill a small gap, and it is a very small gap. That's okay. Do you have your email on? I don't really have a public email because I'm just doing this until Blue stops adulting. But if you have a public email on your site, then I can email you my stuff. It's literally what's on sale at Amazon. But yes, I do my best, Raven. If it's not me being a wuss about MREs, then please allow me to let you know what is absolutely horrid in our world. It is all James K's fault. It is absolutely all of his fault. And I'm so glad you did, Miss Kim. I'm glad you came in. I'm sorry you were swatted. That is just what? All right. Wait a minute. I got by one. Miss Kim, are you my new subscriber? Are you? Because it's grown by one. It's all your fault, James. James, it's all your fault. All right. So we'll try to go back to murder mysteries for next week. Lori Marie, you are very welcome. And I am happy to. I actually did homework for this. What homework? What? My goodness. Oh, hello. That was you. Okay. You want me to do more work? Daytona. The audacity. Don't buy anything now. The food's going to go way bad. Let me tell you that. Thank you, Larry Marie. I appreciate that. And yeah, I got a book and it's very British. So I usually bring on a British friend to help, because the invigilating okay, so Mark was actually right. It is invigilating for the correct pronunciation, but I like invigilating because that sounds more funny. It may absolutely be another until I hit 100 years where I get 100 supporters. Well, thank you very much. As I cough. All right. Thank you, James. That's very good. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with them all. However, I may actually try to do an audit of my local Scientology mission. We'll see. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Very different. Yeah, that's what scares me, Lori, is that he would get me tons of subs. Then I'd have to actually put in work. I mean, come on. Next week, it may be a little more laid back, unless or until I see what's going on. I have been described as intense when someone pokes the bear. Like, they're yeah. Somebody messes with my diabetic kid, just don't. No. Just no. We'll see if they poke the bear or if they ignore me entirely because nothing's going on. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Oh, Miss Kim, I will watch your SWAT. I will not be happy, but I will watch your SWAT. Good night, all.